Welcome into Dolphins Today. I am Tom Downey. On today's show, we are taking a look at Dane Brugler's 7th-round NFL mock draft and breaking down the Dolphins' picks in it. Now, if you, like me, like us here at Chat Sports, are excited about the 2024 NFL Draft, then like today's video right now. First up, some notable round one picks off the board before Miami got on the clock. Troy Fautanu's off the board. Could have been a good pick there. Brian Thomas Jr. is gone. Byron Murphy goes 18. That one stings. Jared Verse, who's been mocked fairly frequently as of late. Also, Graham Barton, who could be a great option at left guard, center, even right guard for Miami. But in Brugler's mock draft, he has the Dolphins taking Latu out of UCLA, who talent-wise, I think you can make an argument is the best defensive pass rusher in this year's class. However, it's not just the talent that has concerns around him. Here is what Dane wrote about Latu and the pick. Dolphins weren't scared off by Jaelan Phillips' injury past, and I don't think they will shy away from Latu's either. With Bradley Chubb and Phillips working their way back from injury, Latu and his savvy pass rush skills can contribute immediately in Miami. The medical concerns that Brugler alludes to are this. He had a neck injury at Washington. He wasn't medically cleared. He had numbness. Basically took 2 years off. Eventually kind of hops back in, transfers to UCLA, and has 2 fantastic seasons. Basically, if not number 1, number 2 in each of the years, leading college football in pressures. Just massive impact, 65 pressures, 62 pressures. That's about 20.4% in each of those seasons. So every 5th play, he was getting a pressure. He is a very good athlete, not a freaky off-the-charts, Myles Garrett-esque one, but a very good one who has hand usage and I think is less raw than some of the other, gifted edges you see coming into the NFL draft. I think a Trey Hendrickson comp works really well here for Latu. My issue is the one I've had conversations about before. Yeah, you get instant impact with Latu between Phillips and Bradley Chubb. What's your long-term plan for these guys? Are you going to dump one of them in 2 years' time or sooner? Because, once they're healthy, come whatever, midway point of the year, etc., you've then got 3 pass rushers who were first-round picks or first-round pick investments, or both of them if you include Chubb counting twice there was a Denver first-round pick. I don't know if that's the best asset management, but it's been mocked heavily by various NFL outlets. It makes me wonder if maybe I'm the one who's wrong there. Some notable prospects who were also on the board, couple offensive linemen, Jackson Powers-Johnson, Tyler Guyton, both 30 visits for the Miami Dolphins. A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy out of Texas were there. Cooper DeJean was one of the next guy's picks, so I put him on there. Johnny Newton stands out to me. I like Newton a lot. If the NFL wants to make him Brian Branch 2.0, that's their loss. He should be a top 20 pick as far as I'm concerned. So when it comes to the edge position, do you want to draft an edge in round 1? Y for yes, N for no. It is the pinned comment on this video, so the ad comes on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Some notable round 2 picks here for Miami that are off the board. Zach Frazier and Cooper Beebe, both potential offensive linemen. Junior Colson, Roman Wilson, Mason Smith, if you're looking for a defensive tackle. Lots of DTs on the board, still in kind of a tricky class to identify with what you want. Love it, frankly. But Miami's going to go offense here in round 2. Not offensive line either. It is J.T. Sanders, the pick here out of Texas. I don't think this would be overly shocking to anybody, but there are things to be worried about here for Sanders. Most notably, his entire, the things you like about him is, this is an athletic tight end who can make plays after the catch. It was 7.7 yards after contact, or yards after catch, this past season. Has forced some missed tackles, did catch the ball in space. So was he just a good route runner, or was he schemed properly? I don't love the blocking. I think actually, maybe some shades of Jonnu Smith play style-wise aren't the worst comp. I had David Njoku on here until the testing wasn't that great. The 4.69 40 is very good, but everything else was kind of disappointing for a smaller tight end who did bump up to 254 at his pro day, but the testing kind of already been done by that point there. But this would be an investment at tight end. The Dolphins have added tight ends previously. This is a straight-up investment. Jonnu Smith, Durham Smythe, Julian Hill. Jonnu would be your tight end 1. Sanders would get to be a rotation piece along the tight end room as well. So it would be a noteworthy investment from Miami. I have a second, third round grade on him. I don't have that many actual second round grades. So once I stack my board, wouldn't be shocked if Sanders actually does check in top 50 for me. What is notable is some other players at positions of needs were on the board. Khristian Haynes has been a popular mock draft pick, and I get it. It could be a great second-round pick for Miami. Plug and play at the right guard spot. Ruka Row and Braden Fisk out of Clemson and Florida State, respectively, could give you that kind of penetrating 3 technique type. Xavier Legette was there. If you want a wide receiver, he could be a fun fit in the Dolphins' offense. And I'll just mention Trey Benson, not because they need a running back, but that all the backs were still available on the board at this point in the Brugler mock draft. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Get in on the playoff action and win up to 100x your money on Prize Picks as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. The play-in round is currently underway, and Prize Picks has quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types and different fantasy sports you can get involved in, including but not limited to NBA, PGA Tour, NHL, their playoffs to get going here in the not-too-distant future. They also offer weekly promotions and special offers for the biggest moments in sports. I am going to avoid the play-in because it didn't go very well for me yesterday. I did take this Prize Picks slate for NFL season-long projections, though. In general, flex play, always do it. Only got to get 3 out of 4 right. Covers me in the event of an injury there. And if these guys stay healthy, they're going to hit the more thans because their projections kind of already factor in that potential injury concern. So more than passing yards, more than for Mahomes and Dak, more than touchdown catches for CeeDee Lamb, and more than Micah Parsons sacks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. We jump way ahead now to round 5. For the player I have a round 5 grade on. Christian Boyd, the hulking nose guard out of northern Iowa, just over 6'2", just under 6'2.5", 329, by the way. Run stopper profile, run stopper ability. He is not afraid to do some of the dirty work from that perspective. Biggest concerns here are he's making a big jump in competition. And I don't think he's a great pass rusher. I don't think certainly will be in the NFL. Like most big men, not a fantastic athlete, by the way. Thought he was just okay against Iowa State. If you want another nose guard type, Boyd does fit that mold. I would wonder if it would have made more sense to take a pass rusher, though, since they have some nose guard types on the roster. For example, Benito Jones, etc. I think even Tyler Tart's going to play more nose guard, too. Now, what do you think is the single biggest draft need for the Miami Dolphins? Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section right now. Let's go to the 6th round of the Dane Brugler mock draft. Kingsley, out of Florida, the center, who I think could maybe do some guard stuff. Kingsley, make sure I name this correctly. Kingsley Eguakun from Florida, 6'3.5", 304 pounds, not great length there, is an athletic center. And Billy Napier likes to do zone stuff in terms of his run blocking. So I do think that would be a good fit for him and the Miami Dolphins. Tested really well, fantastic athletic ability. Doesn't have guard experience. That is an issue, I think. Also is one of the biggest penalty boys in college football. 31 flags in 30 games the past 3 seasons. So averaged a flag a game at center. That's a red flag for me. That's why he's available in the 6th round despite the athletic gifts. If you guys want more Dolphins draft videos, we have you covered. We will do day-by-day grades, overall grades, undrafted free agents, pick reactions as well. Hit that sub button to get that sent right to your feed. Into the 6th round, this is Chigozie Anusiem out of Colorado State. Now, this is a developmental cornerback pick here who has the height, weight, speed profile teams like to have. Non-combine invite, by the way. 6'1" and change. 200 pounds, 32 1/4 inch arms, ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. You're hoping at minimum with that profile, this can be a key special teamer for you on the back end of your roster. But he's also an older project, and older projects do tend to scare me a little bit. Over now to round 7 as the Dolphins get some wide receiver help. That is Isaiah Williams, the quarterback turned wide receiver. For me, he's a shorter version of Cedric Wilson and probably not quite as good or athletic. I have a 7th round grade on him. There is punt return ability. There is after catch ability. I mean, you saw how many catches he had the past 2 seasons. A lot of that stuff was short. He had an 8.5 ADOT this year. In 2022, it was 3.6. I've never seen an average depth of target that low. My concern here is, he tested better at his pro day, but 4.6, 340. He's not fast. He's quick, but I do think that could maybe work a little bit for the Dolphins. Slot-only player, by the way, because, again, he's 5'9 and a quarter, 182. It's not going to be an outside body at the wide receiver spot. So here's Dane Brugler's mock draft. Latu in round 1. Jatavion Sanders in round 2. Christian Boyd in round 3. Kingsley Eguakun out of Florida in the 6th. Chigozie Anusiem also in round 6 out of Colorado State. And Isaiah Williams in round 7. So grade Dane's mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F? Sound off in the comments right now.